Getting resources early on in the game is one of the hardest things in Minecraft 1.17 survival. I'm going to give you 4 starter farms that you can make really early in your game that's going to give you lots of resources. Don't you go anywhere. Hello everyone and welcome to another farm tutorial episode from me, Avamance. I'm going to give you 4 really easy starter farms that work perfectly in Minecraft 1.17 survival. Today's 4 farms include a glow lichen farm that is going to give you loads and loads of glow lichen that you can use for texturing and all kinds of other decoration. A drip leaf farm that is going to give you so many drip leaves you're not going to know what to do with all of them. A lava farm so you can create lava flows or perhaps use these as fuel in your super smelter. And finally, an amethyst shard farm. So much you can do with amethyst, and this one's a doozy. Of course, there are lots of other starter farms that you could also do. If there are any specific you'd like me to do in a different tutorial, let me know in the comments below and I'd be delighted to put a little montage together for you. Before we start these 4 quick and easy tutorials, can I just ask you, if you enjoy this video, please do think about hitting that like button. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it makes such a big difference to the channel. And also, if you haven't done it already, maybe think about subscribing too, and then you won't miss any other content. That notifications bell is waiting for you as well. Let's get on with it. The first farm we're going to make is a glow lichen farm, and this one is so easy it's actually embarrassing. Everything you need is inside this chest. Yep, that is literally everything you need. So take a screenshot, pause the video, whatever it is you need to do, that's what you need. Let's make it. Dig a hole that is 2 by 1 and place a double chest inside it. Then grab a hopper and shift click a hopper into the front of the chest. Grab an observer, come around the back and shift click the observer so it's over in front of that hopper like that, with the face facing forwards and that redstone bum facing backwards. Get yourself a solid block. I'm going to use this deep slate, and on the top of that solid block place yourself some redstone. Grab a dispenser, place the dispenser on top of that observer so the faces are facing in the same direction. On top of that dispenser you want to be putting a slab. I'm using cobbled deep slate just so as it matches the back. You can use whatever slab you want, and then shift click a button onto each side of that dispenser like that. One button is for function and the other button adds a little bit more protection. Shift click one piece of glow lichen on front of that dispenser and you are good to go. I did tell you that it was simple. Now place some bone meal inside that dispenser. You could fill it completely up if you wish to. I'm just going to put 1 stack in for the sake of this demonstration. Grab some shears and then hit that button. You'll notice that that has just flipped once and it has taken that lichen down on top of that observer. Now what we're going to do is we are going to press our left mouse button on that observer face and we're just going to watch how we get loads and loads of lichen. Notice the chest is empty. Let's go. Lots and lots of lichen come off. We catch some of it ourselves, but most of it goes into that hopper and is collected into that chest. That's going to carry on going until you've used up all of the bone meal in the dispenser, or you feel you've got enough lichen to be able to build whatever it is you want to build. We've used up all of that bone meal now, and if I look in the chest, we've got 60 glow lichen there. We've got 5 in our inventory, 1 that we had before we started, which makes 64. So you get 1 glow lichen for every bone meal that you put into that dispenser. So that's one really simple farm. Let's get over and do farm number 2. This drip leaf farm is a little bit more complex than that glow lichen farm, but it's still really simple. Everything you need is inside this chest. These are 66 structural blocks. They don't have to be deep slate, they can be whatever you'd like them to be. You could even do it out of dirt if you wanted to. The rest is exactly as you see it here. Pause the video, take a screenshot, whatever works for you. Let's crack on. So as is so often the case, the first thing you do with the farm is place in your collection system. We have got 1 double chest right like that, and then shift click a hopper on top of that. We're then going to shift click a rail on top of the hopper, and we're going to put a minecart with hopper on top of that rail, and we're just going to leave it there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves some structural blocks and we're going to start to build up around this building already. But at the front, what we're going to do is we're not going to place solid blocks, we're going to place upside down steps. That's going to allow us to get access to that chest exactly like that. We can then carry on building up with our structural blocks around like this, all the way in a donut around that, and then we're going to place a dirt block on top of that minecart with hopper. Place a temporary block there, put a dirt block there, and you are good to go. Surround again with a load of your structural blocks, and that is the first stage of your build. We now need to access the top of that. So we're going to place steps there. We're going to place a temporary block there. We're going to put steps there and then another block right there. We then need to get steps underneath that upside down. So get rid of your temporary block, grab your steps, and then whilst you're not in the way of it, place your upside down steps like that. You can see you can still access that. Now place a solid block there, and we're going to surround this with more steps exactly like that. Now what you can also do now is trim this all the way around with the rest of your steps like that, and the same on the other side. That trim is completely for show, you do not have to do it. Then come up on top, because we're going to need to start to put some things in here. Grab yourself your dispenser, place a dispenser facing inwards so as it's over that dirt, and then into that dispenser put in any bone meal that you may wish to put in. Place a solid block there and a solid block there. You'll notice I'm just using this single structural block. If you want to texture it up with lots of different structural blocks, like the one that I showed you right at the beginning of the video, then you feel free. Just for the purpose of this demo, I'm using a single block. We're going to continue building the body of this farm by putting structural blocks there and there, one in that corner, and that is where we start to put in some glass. Put glass there, glass there. You'll notice that we have left this gap on the top. That is deliberate. We're going to place structural block there, structural block there, structural block right there. We're going to place another glass on there. Then we're going to come underneath and we're going to place ourselves a slab on the underside of that glass. That means there is fewer drip leaves falling out the front, and they don't go into your collection system when they do that. So that makes it slightly more efficient. Now we are going to go up another 7 levels with exactly this pattern. 3 blocks at the back and 5 glass at the front. Exactly like that. We are now on a tower 8 high of glass. Come to the front of your farm and using crouch so as you don't fall off the front, place a piston so it is facing in towards this hole. Then put structural block either side of the piston and then build up the glass 1 more level. We then need to place a block there, there and there, and also a temporary block just there to give us a little bit of space. That then needs an observer facing there, so the redstone bum is facing outwards onto that redstone dust. Click off that block right there, put a structural block there, and glass all the way up and around. And then if you wish, I find it quite useful to sometimes put another row. This is optional, and this extra row was not included in the inventory that I gave you. Whether you do or whether you don't, you then need to put in some slabs like this. I like, just because it looks nicer, to overhang the slabs as a 5x5 instead of a 3x3, but if you would rather keep them as a 3x3, that is absolutely fine and no problem whatsoever. It still works in exactly the same way. I just think it looks a little bit better as a 5x5. Then if you wish to put 4 lanterns hanging from each corner, that lights up that redstone so you don't get light updates, plus just makes it look nice. I'm down back at the bottom of the farm, and in this hole at the back I'm going to place a spruce trapdoor. It doesn't have to be spruce, can be any trapdoor you like, and I'm going to flap that down. That allows me access to the top of the dispenser because I'm about to block the back with that block like that. I'm then going to get myself an observer. I'm going to place an observer so as it is facing into that block. You can see the redstone bum is facing into that block and the face is facing outwards. I'm then going to get another observer. I'm going to face it into that block. The redstone bum is now facing me. So if they were facing each other, it'd literally be looking into each other's eyes. That's actually something we're going to be doing in just a moment. Sticky piston going into that so that can push that observer backwards and forwards, and a block there. I'm then going to put a lever on the top of that block, and if you wish to, you can always put a lantern on top of that just to make things a little bit more light. Finally, I'm just going to place 2 slabs on either side of those steps. That allows me to get here really easily for maintenance, but what it also does is it gives an extra level of protection for any drip leaves that try to pop out. They'll go into your inventory as opposed to somewhere else, which is not what you want. It's now time to test it. To make this farm work, all you need is a single drip leaf. So if all you can find is 1 drip leaf, then that's perfect. You can use it, multiply it up, and then reuse the ones you've multiplied to get more and more and more. And the farm really comes into its own when you've got a whole stack of drip leaves and a dispenser full of bone meal. I've currently got 1 stack of bone meal inside here, and I've got a whole stack of drip leaf right there. I'm going to turn this farm on. You'll notice that that dispenser is not dispensing anything because there's nothing in front of it. But if I aim towards the dirt, and I press right mouse button, that places one drip leaf until it all gets knocked down. And once that's knocked down, I place another drip leaf. I'll continue to do that until I either run out of drip leaves or I run out of bone meal. One stack of bone meal used up 7 drip leaves, and we've got a little bit more drip leaf growth in there as well. So let's see what we've got in the chest. So a single stack of bone meal brings us a stack of drip leaf plus an extra 2. So that is a pretty good yield. All you need is a bone meal farm and you're going to have more drip leaf than you could possibly muster. Farm number 3 is a lava farm, and this is also a complete doddle. I've got everything you need in this chest. I'm going to be making a 9-place farm, but you can make this farm as short or as long as you want, and the longer it is, the more lava you're going to get per hour. You need the same number of lava buckets as you have got for the number of stations, so also for cauldrons, also for dripstone block, and also for pointed dripstone. I'm doing 9, so all of those are 9. You then want steps. These are decorative, but I do think they make a big difference. You want double plus 4, so 2 times the number of stations plus 4. And then hold blocks, I'm using deep slate bricks, you can use whatever you want. You want double plus 10. So I'm 9, double that 18, plus 10. Make a row as big as your farm is going to be. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then fill up with all of your cauldrons. On one side, place your structural block 2 high, and then you're going to place a dripstone block on there like that. You then row all the way along, so as you've got a dripstone block above each and every cauldron. Now, if you wish, you could add 2 more structural blocks onto this build, and that will allow you to have this dripstone 1 higher. But I find what this does is it stops you falling in your own lava cauldron, which is never good. Then grab yourself your dripstone and place a dripstone on the side there. And if you're careful, you should be able to place dripstone all the way along above every one of these cauldrons, all 9 of them. If you find you're having trouble, then dig yourself a trench in the sand like that, and you'll be able to see the underside of the dripstone. But you shouldn't have to do that. It should just work against each dripstone. Get yourself some structural block and place structural block there. Jump on it, structural block there. Grab your stairs, and you're going to build yourself a platform of stairs upside down all the way along the edge of these dripstone blocks, and including your structural block there, and do the same at the back. You're now going to make a trough using your structural blocks all the way around the outside, so this dripstone is exposed, but there is a 1 high trough of blocks all the way around it, exactly like that. And then inside each of those, you're going to put a lava bucket. You don't want flowing lava, you want source lava buckets, so you need to put one in each and every part. If you've only got a couple of lava buckets, then make this too long, leave the others as a gap, and when you get more lava out the farm, you can come up and fill it up. And that is it. That is how you build this farm. You need do nothing else. You'll see we now have lava dripping into those cauldrons, and from time to time you're going to get a cauldron fill up with lava just like that one did. That's great. That happened really quickly. Sometimes it can take a while and sometimes it can be really quick. You can then take a bucket, an empty bucket, empty out that lava, and it will continue to drip and fill up a lot more. You have loads and loads of lava, and you can use this to fuel your furnaces, or maybe you can make a lava flow because you're doing some kind of frightening, scary lava-y build. And the 4th and final farm is an amethyst shard farm. Now these are really, really simple. Automating this is incredibly difficult and actually makes it not worth it. So I'm going to show you how to make an amethyst shard farm, and all you need is a few torches, some scaffolding and a decent pick. Nothing else. Now you will notice inside these geodes there are amethyst blocks, and there are these blocks that look very much like amethyst blocks, but they look a little bit cracked. That is not something you want. Dig out the amethyst blocks. These are budding amethysts. You want to leave them there, because if you dig them out, you're going to find nothing happens. They won't drop anything, not the block, not anything. Get rid of all the amethyst, but don't take out any of the budding amethyst. Also, remove any of the calcite blocks around these. You want to make sure that all 4 faces of these budding amethyst blocks are available and open to the air, even if it means you're digging into the side of the cave. Obviously, when you're doing this, be cautious that you don't open up any lava flows that might be nearby, don't open up into any caves, and if you do, block the cave up. You want this to be completely enclosed. Once you've removed everything, your geode should look something like this. You can see all of those budding amethysts have got gaps between them and the wall. That will allow those shards to grow on every single face to give you the maximum amount of amethyst. Now, everything I do from now on is completely optional, although I do really recommend the scaffolding bit. Place scaffolding around your floor so as you can reach up some of the higher budding amethysts. This is just going to save you lots of time later. You probably need to just fiddle around just to work out exactly where the best way to go is. Make sure you don't block off any of your amethyst faces. Once your scaffolding is in, place slabs all around the floor. This is going to stop things from being spawnable. I've also placed some lights in the floor and lights in the ceiling. That's not for spawnability, that's just so as I can see what I'm doing whilst I'm working in here. Now, however you want to access this farm is entirely up to you, but I like the scaffolding method. A tower of scaffolding going straight down into the ground, into the very, very corner of your geode farm is absolutely the best way to be able to access it in and out. You're also going to need a very specific tool for this farm as well, and that's a Fortune 3 pickaxe. Come to this farm every 5 or 6 Minecraft days. There is no point in you doing it any more frequently than that because these amethyst shards grow really, really slowly. However, when you've got a full geode and you come with a fortune pick, you are going to get so many shards you won't worry about coming back for another 5 or 6 days anyway. I'm going to take out just one bud with this Fortune 3 pickaxe that I've got here, just to see how many shards I get. This bud is the one I'm going to take out. Let's see what happens. I'll have that, thank you very much. 4 shards from that one. Let's do this one as well. That's another 8 shards from that one. You can get loads of shards with this Fortune 3. That's another 4. That is another 6. You can see a geode like this is going to bring you lots and lots of shards. I hope these farms were really useful to you, and as a result you get lots of resources out of them. They're very easy to build, and if you follow the tutorials you should find you've got them in literally minutes. Let me know if there are any other farms you'd like me to try out for you. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you join them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you're not done already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.